What is up, Tampa Bay? Good evening, y'all. Excited
evening.
to be here with you. It is another Tampa Talk Tuesday, and me and the team are excited to be sharing this with y'all. I am with my trusted co-hostesses, plural, with the mostesses. In case you needed to know, we've got Miss Marcia Railton down in sunny Bradenton, Sarasota, Florida. Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
It is a happy Tuesday. Every time we get to see your smiling face, it is a happy Tuesday.
Thank you. Feel the same way.
Absolutely. We also have Miss Stacee Amon up in San Antonio, Florida, by way of Wesley Chapel, by way of Indiana. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Moving back to Wesley Chapel.
Yeah.
Stace's taking the tour around Pasco County. She just wants to check it out for all of our clients and make sure that they are in the right place. So she's just going to buy a home everywhere up there. It's great.
That's right.
I love it. And my name is Juan Alcala. If we've never met before, we make videos that are all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. We do this every Tuesday evening. It is a free-for-all Tuesday, so to speak. We come on here, we talk about things that are happening locally in Tampa Bay, events, all kinds of stuff that is happening here in the greater Tampa Bay area. Talk about housing. We talk about inflation, food, everything you can put on the map. If it's about Tampa Bay, we're talking about it. But also, and most importantly, we welcome you to this conversation. We prepare diligently, but we love to have open dialogue with you, the viewer. So we want to encourage that. Feel free to first and foremost, let us know where you're watching from. This is one of the best things we get to do, right? Making the videos is fun, but this is actually a blast. We love doing these live Q&A. So that's the feedback I get from the team, and we get great questions from you guys. So we want to invite you to also put your questions in the description or the comment section there. Also, we're live on Instagram, we're live on X, we're live on Facebook. I think we're live on every platform we could possibly stream on. We are live on. So happy to connect with each and every one of you. And tonight, we're going to talk about some cool stuff. We're going to lean a little bit heavier real estate, I think, this evening. But there are some great events coming this weekend in the greater Tampa Bay area, which are exciting. Ladies, do you know who is playing in terms of concert this weekend? It's a big name, a really, really big name.
I know one.
Who?
Two, actually. Can I guess them?
Yes. Hold on. Give me both guesses.
Sting.
Ooh.
He's playing with either Tampa Orchestra or St. Pete Orchestra. And his name escapes me, but he's a country singer and he's really good.
Just a country singer.
Hey.
I love that. No, I like country, but he's downplaying because this is one of the biggest names in country, right? Like Sting is a huge name too, but
I don't think I said he's a country singer, but I can't think of his name.
Oh man,
he's Stapleton, Chris Stapleton.
Absolutely. So if you didn't know, if you're living under a rock and you live in the greater Tampa Bay area, Mr. Chris Stapleton is going to be in town at the Mid-Atlantic Theater, which is a great outdoor venue if you've never been there before. It's awesome. It is right by the Hard Rock Casino and Hotel. So for those of you who may overindulge on evenings like this, you can just stumble across the highway, take a nice little Uber ride. I'm sure the casino, I've never stayed there, Stacey, but I'm guessing they have shuttle buses to Mid-Atlantic. It's right across the street, right? So
rooms are probably only like $500 a night.
Probably, but that's a much cheaper ticket than the alternative of overindulging and driving. So we don't promote that on this channel. We're making sure you guys know all of the options. But it's a beautiful hotel. It's on the eastern side of Tampa, but Mid-Atlantic is a really cool venue if you've never been there. So for those of you who are fans, I know a lot of people who don't necessarily listen to country, but love Chris Stapleton. So just thought I'd share that with you guys. Marcia nailed it, of course. She's always got the 411.
I feel bad because I don't think I said but.
No, you didn't.
I love Chris Stapleton. I think he's amazing.
He really is. The guy's got a voice like an angel. Let me just say that he is one heck of a musician. So I agree with that. That is awesome. So, have any of you been to a Chris Stapleton show? I would love to know if it's worth the $7,000 investment. The tickets got. No, I'm kidding. I actually don't know what it costs, but I know it's not cheap. Let's see what they've got available in real time. This is StubHub, 2 tickets. Let's see what we got. $127 for lawn. That's not bad. I could do that. I could see that happening.
Crazy how much people spend on concert tickets these days.
It is. Look, $1,653 for this section here. $964.
We can't see what you're doing.
Oh, this is so tragic. Oh, it just didn't pull through on the second one. I wonder why that happened. Okay. Here's the Mid-Atlantic Amphitheater. It's a really cool setup this stadium is. And it shows, like, as you click on it and look at these listings. So $127 a lawn. That's cool. Not a problem there. You get down to, there's one seat here for $1,653. I don't know what makes this area so magical, ladies.
Yeah. You have a chair.
Well, you can come down and get seats and they start to go up. $909, $1,813, $849, $1,800, $900. This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, listen, I know I sound like the cheap guy, and I am, right? But man, it costs a lot of money to get into these venues now. But Chris Stapleton is awesome. I would love to know if you guys think it's worth the investment. So next time when he comes into town, we should execute on that. Let me know. I'm going to have to sell one of my children, I think, to make that happen. Between the casino, hotel, and the concert tickets and dinner, I think that's kind of where we're going to be, is selling a child.
Yeah, that would be a very expensive evening.
I'm kidding. It would be a blast, though, right, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
too old for the lawn tickets anymore. We used to do that, but if I can't get up close in a chair, I'm not interested. So.
There you go. Marcia's calling.
Too old to stumble around and over people on the lawn.
Marcia's calling it a wrap. She's like, we ain't doing that. I love that. That's fantastic. That's awesome. And this weekend was Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo for anybody who celebrated, which I think is almost everyone who pretends to be Mexican on that day. That's awesome. Congratulations. Just like St. Patrick's Day, where a lot of people participate on that. Hopefully you ate really well and didn't overindulge too much. Because otherwise, pain can follow there for sure. But I want to talk, ladies, about some things that are happening here locally. And let's just say hello to everybody watching this evening. I want to check in with everyone. And the man of the hour made it first. My man. Good evening, Kevin. What is up, my brother? Good to see you.
Hi, Kevin.
Thanks for watching.
Back.
Absolutely. We got Adam in the house. My man. Adam, I have invested so many hours into YouTube. Thank you, by the way. Appreciate that. I'm still, honing up my skills over there. Adam set me on a path. I mentioned this a little bit last week, but he's got me digging into some things that I had never been exposed to before in a good way financially. So I'm doing some homework and some diligence, hoping to win like Mr. Adam there. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Vladik, what is up, my man? What's up, y'all? Excited about the everything Tampa Bay. Juan, have you ever been to Busch Gardens? If not, you should. I have not, dude. We bought season passes this year for Busch Garden for the family. And we were convinced we were going before it got warm. That ship has sailed. So, yep. So, but it also comes with like SeaWorld. I don't know if Kate will actually take the family there, but let me just tell you right now, Juan will not be going to Busch Gardens when it's 90 degrees. So that'll be happening later in the year, and I will lean on you for advice on what we should do, because I do like roller coasters. My daughter, my 9-year-old daughter, we took them to Legoland. She loved it. My 11-year-old son, he literally cried on the roller coaster, and my wife was y'all. It was I'm sitting in the back with my 5-year-old daughter, and my son is up, and we were on the Lego. Like, these are not tall roller coasters, right? And this is mortifying, I'm sure. But he was like, we were coming down, and I heard screaming and like high pitched, like coming. I was like, well, that's weird. And I look over, between the seats, and he is like white knuckling, turning green, like screaming. And Kate is looking, and she's laughing. and now I'm dying. My 5-year-old daughter's in the back, and my 9-year-old daughter's in the front, having the time of her life, right? So when we got down, and you know how they do those snapshots of the roller coasters when you get off? Oh my God, y'all. It was so good. His face and my wife cracking up, and everybody's it was one of those moments. So I'm a big fan of roller coasters. I'm excited to go. I haven't been. I'm looking forward to doing that. Stacee, have you been to Busch Gardens?
Oh yeah. Yep. That's only like 25 minutes from Wesley Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids are huge amusement park junkies. So yeah, we had season passes. My son could tell you everything you need to know about Busch Gardens. He can tell you the quickest way to get to certain roller coasters. Like he's got it all memorized. Wow. He did like a summer camp there for where they take the kids back to look at all the roller coasters, where they store all the parts and learn how to operate everything. So yep. And they're a lot. Yeah. And they have a really nice water park too. Did you get the passes for the water park?
I don't. I'm a bystander on this show. When it comes to anything having to do with the kids, I am told where I am supposed to be at what time, and that's how the life works. Is that abnormal for everyone else? I mean, like I spend 1,100 hours in the pool deck every weekend, followed up by basketball behind that, and then all the school things. This is just that moment I've sacrificed in life, right? I'm just like surrendering it, but we're having fun. It's been a fun time to do that, but I laugh because that's par for the course. We do have a question over on Instagram. I want to answer this really quick. Katie Ferris, 18. Is there a way to research what jobs pay for specific industries? Specifically, I'm a hairstylist and need to know what I'll be making if I move to Tampa. Okay. This is out of my lane, in case you had noticed. I mean, I have been working on this for a long time. However, kidding. But Katie, great question. I think we can ask the ladies here. This is appropriate. I can tell you what the bills are. I can tell you how much that costs our household every 3 months or however often Kate goes. It's not inexpensive, but relatively speaking, I don't know. My question to you, follow up on this, is will you be working for someone else? Will you be owning your own chair? Like, what's the normal process for you? Maybe we can help answer some of that questions. But like, ladies, this is a great question to be able to answer for the audience specifically. To get your hair done at a salon you trust, which both of you go to, I'm assuming, because your hair looks lovely all the time. What should someone expect to pay for, I don't even know what they call it, right? The full makeover, like, I don't know what's happening in there, right? Like, you got color and blowouts. I don't understand any of that. This is not my world.
Are you insinuating we get our hair dyed?
No, I'm just, I've never seen my wife's original color. She will tell everybody that. So I have no idea.
No, It is expensive, but I can't say I know how much the stylist would get. Like you said, even if she says she's working for someone versus herself, well, I don't know how much. There's a lot of different setups as far as salons around here. Mm-hmm. I know they have I think they're called salon loft, where stylists rent rooms.
Yep.
And then of course there's regular salons, and I'm not sure how they're all paid. I feel like the prices just keep going up higher and higher. I don't think you can get out of a salon for less than a couple $100 at the least. So it's expensive.
That sounds right in terms of what I hear. I believe the gal that Kate goes to, she charges per hour. Is how she owns. It sounds a similar setup to what Marcia's talking about. She rents a space, a chair in a certain area, and then she just charges her clients by the hour. But it's not inexpensive. She spends over $300 with tip every time she goes in there. It could be $350 for all I know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
I haven't either, to charge by the hour, because then like what cutting your hair versus dyeing it or putting different products in it seems like it'd be more expensive, but she's probably figured it out, to even it out, to know what to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say though, when I moved down here, I felt like it was less expensive to get my hair done down here than up in Indiana. I think I spent probably $70 more up there. So, I mean, I get my hair done every 5 weeks and I'm pushing probably $200.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, this is one of those questions we get asked, like cost of living related, right? Like, what's the cost of living in Tampa? This is an appropriate question. And I think hopefully that helps you, Katie, just to kind of wrap your mind around it. Like, if what they're I know that's difficult to kind of to cipher, but we're doing our best to help give you some guidance on that. But overall, I think that professional services, and I would consider that. Listen, I'm not going to an amateur to cut my hair. Right, like I'm happy to pay those people. I think I get a fair value. I spend an hour in the barber's chair. I think I'm undervalued. I spend $35 and that's nothing. I would happily pay 50. Lou, if you're listening, you didn't hear that. Just so we're on the page. All right, so great question. I love that. Let me get to one more Instagram question and we'll come back over to Facebook and YouTube. Sadie Real Estate says, Juan, what areas do you cover other than Tampa? Great question. We cover the greater Tampa Bay area and Sarasota as well. Marcia we'll sell as far south as Venice. Pretty much anything farther than that is out of our expertise. And we don't like to try to put people, we're not going to serve anyone where we can't serve you well. Right. So that's as far south as we'll go. And we'll go as far north as into Hernando County, Spring Hill area. Our Dennis, who's another agent on our team, he lives up in that area, knows it very well. So it's pretty wide berth. We don't head out to Lakeland. We typically refer that. We've got great agents all over Florida, Orlando, Lakeland, Jacksonville, Destin, Tallahassee, Miami, Cape Coral, all those areas we've got you covered. So if you guys need to be connected to a professional, don't hesitate to reach out, because there are a lot of people that come into our world and ultimately don't end up moving to Tampa. They move to a Miami or Jackson. Something else pulls them in a different direction. And it's nice to be able to make those connections and make sure that they're taken care of. So happy to help you make that connection if you need it. So thanks for asking the question, Katie. Appreciate that. We're here to help. Let me see here. Sorry, Sadie. And then Katie said, working for a salon, not independent. Got it. Yeah, we wouldn't be, it doesn't sound like we'd be a whole lot of help there, but I'll see if I can get some information on that specifically. But again, if we're paying, I don't know if that's above average or normal, but it sounds to me like they're paying a healthy amount to get that done on a regular basis. I think that you guys would probably be pretty well taken care of. But I know a few other hairdressers that go to church with us and they make really good money. So I think if you're in the industry and you do it well, people will love to dote on you is what I think we got going on.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what the economy is doing.
That's right.
We're getting our hair done.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with my hair appointment. That's one thing you do not want to mess with.
Exactly.
One thing they have to take into account is building their clientele. So I'm sure she's thinking about that. Like, I don't know when a salon hires someone, if they give them clients or they have to earn the clients. I don't know how that works. So
yeah, great question. And welcome to Salon Talk here on Living in Tampa, Florida. Listen, I love being able to answer these questions, right? We don't know everything, but we'll do our best to try to give people guidance and perspective on all things Tampa Bay. So we're happy to do that. All right. Kyle says, Northeast Ohio here. Shout out to Ohio. Traveling on Thursday to explore various communities this weekend with my wife for our family, considering the move in the next 6 to 12 months, but need to get comfortable with the areas first. Cool. Well, it is a wonderful place, Kyle. I'm not quite sure what you guys are trying to accomplish from a lifestyle perspective, but it sounds to me like you've been watching and listening in, man. If you need more information, feel free to reach out to the team here. All the contact information is down below. That is not a sales call. That is a consultation. So if you need it, it's there just so you have perspective. Happy to do that. You can reach out to any of these ladies also. Those are their Instagram handles, stacey.amon.realtor and at Marcia Railton. They'll get you directly to them as well, so you can connect with them. Vlad's got an opinion. I would never pay that much for a country singer. I'm sorry. Well, the good news for Mr. Stapleton is he does not rely on you or me to pay his bills, obviously, because he is filling that bad boy up and he is doing well. But I hear you on that. Just paying that much money in general, man, it'd have to be a concert of a lifetime to spend that kind of money for us. But people do it, so God bless them. I ain't mad at them. What do you say? If it was Andre Bocelli, right? the original tenor. I mean, my man's been around forever. I just saw a video with him yesterday too, which is awesome. What did he say? I'm gonna take over the chat today. Show my dedication. My man, he was one who messaged me and apologized for not being here last week. How awesome is that, right? When the audience sends you a direct message, man, I'm sorry I wasn't there. Like, dude, you don't have to apologize. I think that's awesome, though. Lobo, what is up, my man? He says, hello, Juan and peeps.
Hello.
Hello.
Lobo.
Look at this. Aloha from the Big Island. Love that. That is a long way away. I'm always fascinated when people reach out from Hawaii because let's be real, y'all. Like in terms of paradise on earth, in terms of like geography and weather, like Hawaii is it, right? So, but we've had more and more people reach out because their cost of living is so crazy over there, and they want to get something that's similar to that lifestyle, which is always intriguing to us. I know most of the condos near the beach were built in the 70s and 80s, correct? Any already meet new requirements for engineering recertification? Great question, my man. Somebody's dialed in here, folks. And for those of you that don't know what he's referring to, legislation got passed with the collapse of the Surfside condos in South Florida, and now they are required to do a structural recertification every 30 years, and also have their reserve funds fully funded by the end of this year, which I think is going to get extended, just FYI. So it's important to note. And short answer to your question, Carl, is yes, but not all of them. And from our experience so far, it's been about 50-50. They are moving on it pretty quick, but there's still a lot of catch up to be played there. So be mindful of that as you dip your toe into that water. I've had several conversations with clients thinking about purchasing investments on condos right now. And until that is taken care of in any building, I wouldn't touch it. Oh, one more caveat on that. If the building is higher, 3 stories or higher, it has to recert. If it is 2 stories or lower, it does not. So that is a little cheat code there for you, Carl. Okay, so if you get a 2-story little condo, you don't have to do that recert. You won't be hit with that big giant bill for that recertification specifically. All right, so definitely something to take note of. And thank you for asking that. That's a great question, y'all. So condos are the yellow zone right now, leaning towards red. Unless you do serious diligence or you have the capital to overcome a substantial bill, 30, 40, 50. I mean, we've heard as much as $80,000 on some of these. So just be very mindful, do your diligence. Okay. Happy to help you guys with that. All right. Lobo says, we'll be there the second week of June for family vacay, staying on Lake Tarpon. That's a nice area. Make sure that you be mindful of what's in Lake Tarpon. We'd love to check out Wesley Chapel and similar suburbs. Yes. Cool. Well, you're in a good location to check those out, Lobo. So it's a good spot. Like I said, you got access to us. If you need us, don't hesitate to reach out, my man. Happy to do that. Anytime you need it. All right. Hi, Juan. When needed, are you easily able to find a plumber, or do you have trouble finding a company to do plumbing? In my experience, we have not had any challenges finding plumbers yet. They are busy, but we haven't had a situation where we haven't been able, either us personally or any of our clients, not get a plumber, like to get something done in a reasonable time frame. So great question. What about you, ladies?
Agreed. I haven't had a problem.
Cool. That's good news. We would like that to continue, just so everybody's aware, right? Like that is good for everyone. Mr. Adams laughing at Vladik. He thinks that's funny. Love that. All right, Stacey, this one's for you.
Oh, yes. I hope you have no hair appointments when I come to town Memorial Day weekend. Oh, that is funny. So I will definitely make sure my appointment is scheduled around your visit.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Just make sure you get that right. Well, I'm sure that anybody cutting hair on that weekend is gonna be charging a fortune too. So that'd be something else. I love that. And then Miss Martinez says, what is the Hispanic population in Orlando? And Tina, I can't even answer that legally. So that's just so weird. This is a thing that bothers me. In real estate, right? We can't say specific things. We can't tell you who lives in neighborhoods from racial categories or protected classes. Okay. So just so you guys know, like, we can't tell you that, there's certain people that live in those communities. We can't tell you whether communities are safe. We could lose our license or be fined. We can, however, point you to the information. Okay. So that's the thing we want you to be aware of. I will not hold punches when it comes to doing diligence and letting you guys know where to find that information. One of my favorite resources for things like that, Tiana, is niche.com. And if you guys have never been on that website before, it's really good. It's not perfect. None of them are. But if we go to niche.com as an example, I'll show you what this website looks like. Guys, this is a great resource for anybody who's just your own backyard, looking at other communities. It doesn't matter. It's a really, really nice website. And I'll show you what it is right here. So if you go to, you can type in a city, and it'll almost always, let me go back here. When you type in a city, it'll almost always pop up anyways in that first search if you're looking for cities specifically. But the thing you can do is once it pops up, you go check it out, and then you can see how these cities get graded out. Now, this data gets voted on by residents. There are reviews in here from residents, and I always tell everybody, be careful. Yelpers are very loud, right? You got to sift through the noise to get to the truth, right? But there is value there, and then they grade them based upon statistical data, which is important, right? So if you look at Tampa, it'll kind of give you some insights on here, right? Overall niche grade is an A. And it breaks it down per category, right? Public schools, housing, good for families, jobs. Like, I can't even tell you whether something's good for families or not. I can tell you it's good for my family, but I can't tell you it's good for yours, right? So just sharing with you, jobs, cost of living, outdoor activities, nightlife, crime and safety, all of these things. So it goes into details here. The thing I have noticed is that like real estate statistics specifically, and this could just be because we're hypersensitive to it because we read the numbers every day. These are off. They typically pull these annually and they lag really far behind. Okay, so just keep that in front of you. But it gives you rankings. It talks about how it gets to rankings, right? Like it ranks number 18 in the most diverse cities in America. I mean, after that, you can kind of do the math of who lives where, right? So just a little bit of perspective. Best cities in America. And again, it's voted on and ranked based upon data. It'll show you when you click on these, how it gets to those. And I love this. So if you look at the residents, it'll kind of give you some general idea about residents, right? Diversity, age, education, those types of things. You click and you can go deeper on it. It'll show you just a little bit more on population size, right? So Latinos there. Again, I can't tell you these guys, and I don't know how accurate it is. It'll tell you like it's within a 5% range or something like that when you really kind of dig in. But these sites are really cool to just kind of get a general sense of what is going on around you. Like crime and safety is always a great one, so you can get in here and see statistics on safety. Again, this is just like anything else in the world. You got to take it neighborhood by neighborhood, area by area, because any large metropolitan area, you're going to see high crime in certain areas and almost no crime in others. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at it. But this is the city of Tampa specifically is what it's referring to. So this is a great site to do some homework and get your bearings a little bit. Hopefully that helps. Love sharing stuff like this with people. Sassy but classy. Good evening, by the way. She says both Tampa and Orlando areas are extremely diverse. I 100% agree. Right? There's all kinds of people that live in the area, so it's nice to be able to have access to different cultures. I mean, you go to West Tampa. That's my last name is Alcala. Trust me, I know where to go find good food.
Yeah.
Right. So hopefully that helps, just give you some perspective on that. But there's all kinds, man. It's an awesome area to go check out. So hopefully you guys find value in that. Niche.com. It's really, really cool. It's a great website worth checking out. What else? Lad says you'll find most of the Hispanic people close to the border just having a little fun. Yeah. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Adam says, Tiana, my wife and I are looking forward to the salsa, and bachata fun in the Tampa area. My man, you're gonna get me in trouble. Don't talk about dancing yet. You're gonna get me in trouble. Looking forward to that. All right. Make a mark. What do you guys think about getting an assumable mortgage? Well, if you can get an assumable mortgage, that the part of this equation or question that you're asking that is the valuable one is, can you get it? because absolutely, if you can take on an assumable mortgage, 100%, it's a great option. And for those of you who aren't aware of what Make a Mark is talking about here is there are specific mortgage types like VA loans and FHA loans that allow you to assume the mortgage, meaning that if let's just say my home, I have an FHA loan. And let's say, for an example, I had a 2.75% interest rate and I wanted to sell this house. And Stacey says, you know what? I love Wesley Chapel. I love San Antonio, but I've always wanted to live by the beach. Juan, will you sell me that house and that mortgage? And I can say, you know what? Sure. Let me look at the contract. What does the contract say? Oh, this is an FHA mortgage. It is assumable. Stacey, as long as you can qualify, you should be able to assume this mortgage. And then Stacey can now not only buy my home, but she can take on that incredible 2.75% interest rate. Now, I just made that sound super simple. And let me just tell y'all right now, if someone is offering an assumable interest rate, it is in the description on Zillow, Redfin, or whatever you're at, because that is a very attractive tool, right? And it doesn't hurt me as the home seller to give that to Stacey. Now, people are like, oh, these people have VA. Well, there's a little sticking point with a VA loan. Okay. On a VA loan, the veteran has a number. Okay. And that number attaches itself to that mortgage. And if the veteran wants to go use another VA loan product, they have to bring that number with them. So that loan all of a sudden becomes very difficult to assume. Right. If if someone leaves us, they go to be with the Lord, and now that property is for sale, that potentially could come that way. But this is, like I said, it sounds easy to say. It's much harder in execution. It's easy to accomplish. It's just hard to locate, right? Mm-hmm. Most people, and this is such a good question, because guys, if you have a 2.75% interest rate or a 3.25% interest rate, that actually is a financial asset right now. And think about it. It has to be because someone is asking how to get it. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So if you try to simplify it, so it's such a great question. And I love this. We absolutely always ask those questions when we're working with our clients about, hey, what type of mortgage do you have? We'd love to assume that mortgage. Now, the other thing that you need to be aware of if you're going to try to assume a loan, Make a Mark, think of it this way. Let's just say that my home was worth $700,000, Stacey, and you wanted to buy my house, right, for that 2.75% mortgage, but I only owed $350 on it, right? You got to come to me with the difference in cash in order to assume that yeah.
It has to be cash, the difference stuff?
I got to get paid.
Yeah, but you couldn't get another loan, a different loan?
You could, but you'd be borrowing it at what rate?
Well, yeah, but that would be better than borrowing.
You could do that. That's called a blended mortgage. And now we're getting in the weeds. Right? So but you can, Stacey brought up a good point, right? Maybe you could borrow against your 401. There are other ways to do that, but I'm just bringing that to your attention because remember, if they've got a ton of equity in that house and they have a low interest rate, they have to be made whole in order for them to move off of it. Because again, I'm not going to take less on my home. So I'm just giving you guys a couple examples. I know we're kind of getting in the weeds, but I love stuff like this. And it's such a good question. That's a savvy home buyer, right? As a homeowner, I'm always looking for opportunities like that too. I would try to figure it out. Stacee went right into problem solving mode. And that's what she does for our clients, by the way. Immediately, she was like, well, how do I solve that problem? Because we could absolutely do that. And you're right? If I get half of the mortgage at 2.75, but I got to take the other half at 7, then my effective rate is somewhere around 5%. That's a great mortgage.
But if you're having to pay both at the same time, it could be pretty expensive on a monthly basis. If you're paying 2 mortgages.
Well, one of them is going to be at a nominal expense.
Right.
Remember that first mortgage at 2.75% is probably like $1,800 on that kind of loan. It's nothing, right? Yeah. The other $400,000 that will cost you another, $3 grand or $4 grand or whatever it is. But that's such a good question, man. Like, thank you, Mark. We tend to shy away from a lot of real estate talk all the time, just because we used to do this all the time, and it wasn't driving the needle in terms of engagement. But if you guys have more questions like that, please feel free to ask us. Right. We've been made aware that you guys would like to talk a little bit more about, home builders and incentives and those types of things. And let me just tell you right now, like, now's a great time from an incentive perspective, still not a great time in terms of interest rates perspective. So you're kind of in this Waldy world. We are seeing home builders buy down rates. We're still seeing 6% interest rates from home builders, and then throwing another $20,000 or $30,000 on that in terms of closing costs and concessions and those types of things. So that is available to you. It can make up for those rates. You still have what's referred to as buy downs, if you've never heard of that term before. If you're someone who believes that interest rates will go down in the future, and it's not for us to tell you that's going to happen, because no one knows that for sure. Right? You follow the trends, you look at the numbers, you can kind of gain insights, and you look at history and you can feel it, but no one knows. We can't tell you that. But if you've never heard of a mortgage rate buy down before, there are these terms, like you'll hear a 3-2-1 buy down or a 2-1 buy down, if you've never heard of that before. And let me explain this really quick. Let's just go a 2-1 buy down. A 2-1 buy down, you're getting a mortgage, and what happens with that mortgage, and I'm giving you a condensed version of this. If today's rate is 7% on a 30-year fix, we're going to use that as today's rate. Okay, so that's prime rate. A 2-1 buy down, what would happen is you would pay points up front. You would pay the mortgage company up front a fee. Okay, and we're not going to get into how that fee works, but you would pay them a fee to buy down the interest rate 2 full percentage points your first year. Okay, so you would go from a 7% interest rate on year 1 to a 5% interest rate. Now, that's powerful, because when do you pay the most amount of interest?
The first year. First 15. That's where most of that comes, but heavily on the first year. Okay, on year 2, remember, this is a 2-1 buy down. Okay, on year 2, your mortgage rate is reduced by 1 full point from today's prime rate. Let me break that down. So we went 5% on the first year, and now we're at 6% on year 2. So you bought it down 1 full point. And on year 3, it would go back to the originating rate. Okay, whatever terms the mortgage lenders use. But again, we got back to 7%. So for year 27 on, you're not a variable mortgage. It can't spiral out of control, because when people hear that, they're like, oh my God, no. It's not an adjustable rate mortgage that can go way up. What it is a 7% mortgage, but you paid a little bit of money up front to reduce it by 2% the first year and 1% the second year. If you've ever heard of the term 3-2-1 buy down, it's the same thing. 3% lower on the first year, so you would be a 4%. Then a 5%, then a 6%, then up to a 7% loan on year 26 and beyond. Hopefully that makes sense. I got in the weeds on that one, ladies. Forgive me. But those are questions people ask. Like, people are trying to figure it out. Y'all, it's been over 2 years of these rates, and they ain't going nowhere, right? I got done telling you that we can't predict them, but here's what I can help you understand. Rates ain't going anywhere right now. We're going to be in this territory
for quite some time. Okay. Could be another 3 months, could be another 18 months. We don't know. But the Federal Reserve did not say that he has any inkling to reduce rates at the last meeting, and the next one won't be for another 6 weeks. Right. So just keep that in mind. And home sellers are starting to get off the fence, and we're starting to list more properties here in the greater Tampa Bay area, which is a good thing for home buyers. It's a good thing for the market. It makes it healthy. So it's something to keep in mind. So just keep your eye on the market. Trying to time rates and prices is a fool's errand, period. If it makes sense and you can afford to buy the asset, do it. If you can't and it doesn't make sense, do not do it. It is that simple, right? So just so you got, and I know I sound passionate about this, I am, right? Because here's what I know: real estate changes people's lives. It absolutely does. But there is a time and place to own. There's a time and place to rent. And you got to look at what is best for your situation. And anybody tells you that now is the best time to buy all the time is full of crap. And I'm a real estate agent, and I'm telling you it. Ladies, do you agree?
Definitely.
I agree. Yes.
So hope that helps, man.
And I have a question.
Okay.
I was just thinking about it when the gentleman asked about assumable loans. With the interest rates staying as high as they are, and with so many buyers purchasing with cash, do you think it's possible that people will start, sellers will start doing land contracts to get in going forward?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much money they need, right? Like some people don't have any savings, or they don't have money backed up to make a move. So they have to get all of that cash at close to make it work for them.
I know. I mean, in most people's world, that's true, but over half the sales in our area have been cash. So in a lot of those homes are second homes. So I was just thinking it would be an opportunity for sellers to make make interest. I don't know what all it would entail. I've never done a land contract with someone, but if they could afford it, would it be worth it for them to earn more interest, but benefit the buyer by having a lower interest rate through them?
Yeah. Well, they typically have higher interest rate, in my experience, because I saw a lot of land contracts back when the market collapsed, and we lived in Detroit, so we are at ground zero of terrible real estate sales. And in 2009 through 2012, I saw a lot of land contracts, but they were never favorable for the buyers. They were all really heavy on the front end, Marcia, and the rates sucked too. Now, if it's a good situation, take it, guys. Like it's a good question, Marcia. I don't know. Yeah. Right. That if you can get a favorable land contract, that's always nice, because you can take control of a property, and control is more important than ownership sometimes. Right. Like I shared with everybody on this call before, like we purchased our home through a 5-year lease option, because I left a corporate job and went in real estate full time. Even though I was already in real estate for 5 years, I didn't have my business on paper, as a business. So and I went to a 1099. So that makes mortgage companies very uncomfortable. So we ended up taking a lease option. I knew exactly what I was going to pay every single year on our mortgage. And I knew exactly what I was going to pay for our property. And we were able to execute. And you ladies know, we have a windfall, right? Like we took almost $350,000 in equity when we purchased our home. It was a huge win. And you trust me, the company did not want to sell us the house. Right? Because like if we didn't execute that contract, they were going to make it out. Not only, we paid for over half the house in cash and rent by the time we were here, because they bought the house for $360,000. Our rent was not cheap, y'all. We paid for almost half of this thing during that 5-year phase, right, in rent. And if we wouldn't executed that contract, boy, man, they would have had a field day with selling this thing. But we had control, right? My lease option said we are the ones who get to purchase, nobody else, right? So there are circumstances when that can work out really well. It's just hard to do. Again, just like the assumable mortgages. So great question, Marcia. All right, let's get to some more questions we got here. Okay, Letitia. All right, Stacey, looks like this is a question for you.
Two Rivers is a huge community being developed. What are the benefits this community will bring to the area? Also, what are the downsides, if any? You're right. It is going to be an amazing neighborhood. I think the benefits of the neighborhood would be the location. It's right there off Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills border. So you'll have convenient access to 75. It'd be a direct access from 56, Highway 56. And you'd also would be able to take the back roads to I-4. So that would be a good location. And the community is going to have such a wide range of price points. So that's always a positive in a community, especially if you're right there in the middle. Those higher homes are going to bring your property value up. I think the downside is just that it's there's nothing really out there right now. There is a lot planned to go out there. There's a school going to be going out there. I think Publix announced they're going out there on the corner of Morris Bridge Road and 56. So the development's headed that way. It's just not there yet. So you're going to have those growing pains of expanding the roads and having all that construction traffic.
Yep. Well said. Love that. Hopefully that helps, Letitia. Again, feel free to reach out and connect with us, guys. Our contact info is scrolling on the bottom too. I always forget to do that. And welcome. If you're joining us late, this is Tampa Talk Live. We do this every Tuesday. We love talking all things Tampa Bay. Connect with us, ask questions. We're here to serve, guys. So happy to do that and make the connections with you. All right. Matt Carlton says, general thoughts on Landsbrook and East Lake. That is up in Palm Harbor. Are you a golfer? Usually the only people living up in Landsbrook or Innisbrook are golfers, but great schools in those communities. They rank really high. So, if that is your lifestyle, absolutely, that's a great place to target. Just know, generally speaking, Palm Harbor as a whole is a little bit more, it's very much suburban without that communal feel. You have to go to like downtown Dunedin or up into Tarpon Springs to kind of get that vibe, or over into Safety Harbor. It is straight suburban neighborhood kind of feel. All right. So just sharing that with you, but the communities themselves are awesome. So if that's your focus and that's what you're going to be doing, it's great. So hopefully that helps, Matt. Okay. Derek Weaver says the key is to hopefully be able to refi out of that buy down before the originating rate kicks back in. That's the goal, right? So what Derek is saying here is if you take that 3-2-1 buy down or that 2-1 buy down, whatever that product is that reduces that interest rate up front, you're betting, the strategy there is you're betting that rates are going to reduce before you come out into that originating rate of that 7% is the example, what we used earlier. Right. So that's the goal. Okay. Marcia, I'll let you take this one.
Okay. Can you talk about CDD fees, what they are and how they differ from your monthly HOA fee? So CDD stands for Community Development
District.
And it's primarily in new developed areas, and it's paying for things like the roadways, the lighting, the bringing in the water, electricity, everything that had to be brought to that area to develop the area. The developers get a loan from the municipalities or government, and the people that move into the areas are paying it back, as opposed to an HOA fee, which is directly linked to a specific community, and it pays for things like it can be a lot of different things, but it can be like the neighborhood pool. It can be, sometimes it includes your cable or internet, but it's specific to that community, as opposed to the CDD is for a specific area, a larger area.
Yep. Think
I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, and Marcia did a great job there. Think general infrastructure when you think CDD. So plumbing, electrical, laying the internet, phone lines, all that stuff that goes in the ground, the roads, drainage, all of that stuff. That is essentially what most of that is going towards. And HOA, like Marcia said, will be more specific to the community, right? Do you the lights on the sign you have, the flowers and the landscape that is in that community specifically, if they put a pool in or they have a playground that they have to maintain, those are going to be things that are more specific to it. And typically CDD fees HOA fees are, they can range we've seen them as low as $12 and as high as $120 or $130. So they're all over the board. Just depends on the community. And some of them include cable and internet. So like it can be a wash when you look at it that way too. So they're all over the board. They're going to be very specific to neighborhoods, the lot size, the value of your property, the size of the home you put, a lot of those things will factor into that as well. Another key difference there, Marcia, is when do you pay the CDD fees? How does that get paid?
Your CDDs are paid with your taxes. HOA is usually monthly or quarterly to the HOA association.
Yep. And then the CDDs come annually with your taxes. So great breakdown there, Marcia. Appreciate it. Okay, make a mark. How crazy you think the market would be if the rates magically hit 3% tomorrow? I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, everybody thinks we love that. No, we hated that time. And I say I'm talking about real estate agents. It was not healthy. Our market is broken today because of 3% interest rates. The reason why housing is still such a pain in the butt, and it's getting looser here anywhere where people have builders, you should be very grateful for that, because that is the only thing that kept prices. I can't imagine what a home in Tampa Bay would cost right now if we didn't have builders cranking down for the last 3.5 years. Can you ladies even imagine?
No.
I can't wrap my mind around it. So, and you look, and here's an example. Go look at the Northeast right now, guys. If you live in New Jersey or Boston, Massachusetts, go look at what is happening up there again with real estate, because there are more first-time home buyers waiting to buy homes than ever in the history of the United States. That Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, they're a huge population and they've got money and they're ready to buy, but there's no houses to buy. So they're back up there bidding $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 over asking again. Trust me, you don't want to be in that environment, right? So, and I share that with you guys because that 3% interest rate, that's what kicked all of this off. Money got really cheap and things got crazy. So I am terrified, Mark. We don't want any part of that. Our client, we did really well. Our clients ladies, how many multiple offer situations did we write? Multiple offers for a specific client. Not many, right, Marcia? We were very fortunate. But y'all, I knew
of a couple that I did.
Yeah.
And they were very stressful. So I'm with you. I didn't like those times.
Yeah. But I remember talking to agents during that had wrote 12, 15, some of them 20 offers for clients. And they weren't close. They weren't close to getting properties accepted. So yes, I have trauma around that, Mark, in case you can't tell. That is not a healthy environment for anybody. Okay.
Hi, Janice. Shout out to Stacee. She has the patience of a saint, missing the Florida sunshine from up here in Wisconsin. Hi, Janice. I showed Janice and Jeff around last week. They were so much fun to spend time with. So hopefully we can find them something soon.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for trusting us, Janice. We tell everybody all the time, we have the best clients, y'all. They're incredible. Stacee was running around, with the best. We talk about it. We get off these Zoom calls and we're just, every time it's like, these people are amazing. We have it has been awesome. Now, I think we were joking. We've done we did the math on it, over 300 Zoom calls now over the last 3 years. And we've already done 150 this year. That tells you how crazy things are. But out of all of those calls, only one or two of them have been like where we sat back and we're like, what just happened? Right.
I was on one of those.
Yeah. We're like, oh my, right? It's one of those situations where you're not prepared, but the other 99.99% of them have been absolutely amazing. So thank you guys. We appreciate it. And we love doing what we do. We get to sell real estate. We don't have to. You guys make it so much fun and incredible. Just thank you so much. We appreciate you guys more than you know. All right. Oh, Stacey, here's another one for you.
Do you guys have any news on the progress of Avalon Park and Westgate Community in Wesley Chapel? They are entering their last phase actually over there. So they are almost done. D.R. Horton is entering their last phase. The downtown center is supposed to be opening their first phase, I believe, here by the end of the year, if not sooner than that. So yeah, it's really exciting because when I first moved here 10 years ago, I remember them talking about this downtown Wesley Chapel in Avalon Park, and it's like within arm's reach now. So we're really excited for that to come to life, because there's going to be so much there that's offered to the community. So
many people have been choosing this community. How many houses are we building over there right now, clients, Stacey? 4, 5?
Yeah, I think we have 4 over there.
We have 4, and you guys, we take them over there and they're like, this is it. This is the one we want. The prices are very reasonable over there. I mean, ridiculously reasonable. Under $400,000 for a 4-bedroom brand new home is nuts. And we're right around that price point right now. You know, obviously spend more, but to be able to get into a community where they're building your downtown in your backyard for, you know, between high 3s and mid 4s, that's bananas, especially with the incentives they're giving right now. It's hard to argue that that's not a great value. So this is why people have been choosing this community. They're building mixed use. They're going to have restaurants and boutiques. They've already got leases in place. This will be apartments, but in this community here, you got a big, beautiful park. They're putting an amphitheater down there, your own grocery store within the community. Everything's walkable. They've got 3 resort style pools. It's a beautiful area. It's worth checking out if you've never been there before. But it sounds like JW has some insights here, but definitely worth checking out, y'all, for those of you who are interested in the northern suburbs and Wesley Chapel area. So,
and they have the elementary school is located in that community, so it's really nice to see kids riding their bikes and walking to school, and it's really nice.
Yep.
It's one of my favorites.
Yep. Adam says, thanks for the question, JW. Look at shout out to another question. Love that. Heading down there in 3 weeks, and that's the first place I'm going. Awesome, Adam. Yeah. Adam also chimed in regarding our conversation for real estate expenses. He says, yes, I'm in Boston. My crappy old home has doubled in the last 3 years. I understand where the line of questioning has come from. Here's a good question. Interesting. Chomp Squad, Axie Infinity. All kinds of things happening there. Hello, I work in the crypto blockchain field. I heard that Tampa is becoming a hub for the industry. Would love to hear if you have any idea about this. Yeah, I mean, one of the there's a company called Proppy, and they are one of the major blockchain companies in real estate specifically. I'm speaking on this because that's my industry. And they were one of the first homes to use the blockchain to purchase homes here. So that company is active. They're local. And we were having quite the push when crypto was the hot thing during COVID. In terms of companies relocating here or opening here. So great question. I think you can, if you do some more research, I think you'll find what you're looking for, because tech in general is what's driving a lot of jobs here in Tampa. So great question. Appreciate that. Living and working in Columbus. Shout out to C-Bus. Any specific areas in Tampa that would be best for long-term rentals? We are moving from Columbus next year to do 10 plus rentals and flips a year, and trying to find the areas to focus on. Oh, great question. My question to anybody who's investing is, who is your ideal tenant? Right. So that'll give us a lot more insights in terms of like where to point your energy. Because just like everything else, you know, all people aren't created equal, all tenants aren't created equal. Is your ideal tenant a single working professional or a family? Those things will really determine what direction to kind of point you in. But for long-term rentals, which is the question, yeah, long-term, areas like Wesley Chapel, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, those typically attract working professionals and families. Those are great, stable environments. They're not usually the best ROI in terms of like cap rate and stuff like that, just because everything's so expensive. So, but worth taking a look at. If your strategy is buy and hold and then cash flow, those are the areas that I would kind of point towards. But again, who's your ideal tenant is the real question there. Okay. Marcia, you can go ahead and take this one.
Finally visiting Tampa area next week, and family is so looking forward to it. Thanks for all the valuable information you guys have provided. Greatly appreciate it. You're very welcome.
Awesome. Love that. And then
Orlando has a son coming to tour a college, University of Tampa, next week.
Nice.
Beautiful down there. You're going to love it.
Yep. Yeah. And I get the text message, but I still owe him a phone call. Oh, we'll connect. Absolutely. I got an itinerary for him. You asked for it. Hey, where do I need to go eat? We're going to make sure we share that. So
I did him a long list of stuff. So.
Oh, you did? Okay. Perfect. I want to make sure. Awesome. Sorry, I was recording videos all day. More to come on that, by the way. You guys check that out. All right. Michael V says, any news on what's it?
Persimmon Park.
Persimmon. That's right. Sorry. Dyslexia was kicking in.
Town center. No, I have not heard. I heard that there's a town center going in over there, but I haven't. There's nothing being cleared. I haven't seen any action going on. Yep.
I was just out that way when I was out filming Stacee's house for her video, and we didn't see a whole lot of activity over there yet. So more news to come on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you much for the answer. You're welcome. That's what we're here to do. Here we go. Probably C-ish neighborhood tenants. Okay. You put me on the spot. Text me and I will send you a list. Send me your email. Just shoot me an email and I'll send you a list of various. I'll do a quick video, like a bomb, and I'll show you on the map where I would target. Over by the university is a great area, right? If you're thinking that kind of Temple Terrace area right around USF, that is a prime location for you to be looking over there. Riverview, Brandon, those types of areas are something I might look into as well. Gibsonton, even Apollo Beach. Okay, just for perspective, that's going to get you into the like C-B range. Awesome. Christopher R. Let me see here. Okay, Marcia, you want to take this one?
Sure. Are there any initiatives to reduce the congestion in the metro area, moving down for work in South Tampa, but coming to terms with the commute for more affordable areas?
Yes, Chris, they refer to those as planes and helicopters. I'm kidding. No, yeah, well, like he's asking a fair question. I don't know what that commute looks like for you. Assuming it's the normal, 9 to 5 type of thing for you. The congestion in downtown Tampa, it's not great. The choke points kind of stink. We've been through this before, but let me pull up this map again, because I think this is so important to share with people. And in all fairness, we've had so many clients that are working remote or partial that they get a lot of flexibility on where things are. But I think it's such a good question. So if we look at traffic as a whole, South Tampa, and let me just kind of back up here.
We can see your
Park.
You got it. So Christopher says he's going to be working in South Tampa, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So this is South Tampa, and essentially anything on this lower peninsula here is what we refer to as South Tampa, just so you guys know from a geography perspective. St. Pete is over here. Okay. And then downtown Tampa is right here. I'm going to clean all this up just so everybody knows. And then we'll zoom in a little bit. kind of talk about choke points in traffic, because every metropolitan area has it. And it's always funny to me, like when we talk to people who come here from LA or Chicago or New York, they always laugh when people complain about you. They're like, those people don't know what traffic is, right? And then if you talk to somebody from rural Mississippi, they're like, it's a zoo here. And I totally agree with both of their perspectives, right? So it's really about how this is going to work for you. But the way that Tampa works, you know, it and how the traffic flow is, here's the downtown, right? So if you got to work downtown, and downtown's not that big. Most people don't work downtown, but they work around downtown. And that is kind of what pulls this in. But people come off of 275, right, into downtown Tampa. The 275 I-4 interchange, and I-4 takes you all the way over to Orlando. Okay, just so everybody's wondering what's going on there, I'll pass Lakeland. But in this section here where they connect, and I'll zoom in a second here, they call this Malfunction Junction. That is the name it has earned. And I got to be honest with you, I think it's fair, right? And it is a mess down there. Now, Tampa was not built to have 3.5 million people. It just wasn't built that way. I don't think they ever expected it to be as big as it is in terms of a population, but here we are, we've arrived, so we're dealing with it. There is a huge project that is underway, state approved. They're already working through that, Chris. You can look it up, Malfunction Junction project, and you'll see they're working on a huge project. But what that also means, y'all, is we're about to experience a little bit of pain. Right? More pain. Yeah, because if they're going to open it up, and what happens here is what most of our problem is in Tampa is these exits on the exchange. They either go down to 1 lane or 2, and they should at least be 3, right? When you're coming off of, as an example, where the choke points come into play, when you're coming over the bridge from the beaches, like Clearwater Beach and all those areas over here, and you got to go to the airport, this goes down to 1 lane. So it goes from 5 lanes down to 1. And you can imagine what that looks like at 5:30 in the afternoon. It is a challenge, right? So this is a choke point, okay? The veteran highway coming down also dumps into this. So this becomes a clog point. It goes down to 2 lanes from 5 there. Anyways, it's a challenge they're working on. This is going to be 12 lanes. It's awesome that they're working on all this stuff. This project's been going on for 3 years. It's almost done in the bridge. So that's one. The next one we were talking about is Malfunction Junction. I know we're in the weeds here, y'all. People are like, we tuned in to talk about Tampa. We're talking about traffic. I'm just letting you guys know where it is. We keep it real here. Right? So if you've never watched one of these episodes with us or connected with us, we try to just shoot it like it is, guys. Traffic's not perfect. During peak hours, it stinks. But here's what I will say. The traffic in Tampa does move. It moves. It's not like a lot of other areas that I've been. I used to travel corporately, and you would go to a spot and you would sit there for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you would move up 2 car lengths and you would do it again. You guys have no idea how bad traffic can be, right? Here, for the most part, it does move. It gets congested and it slows down, but it keeps moving pretty well. Is that fair to say, ladies?
Yes. Okay. I would say the traffic moves quite well, other than those spots you're talking about. And it's so frustrating, like going to the airport or the I-4 and 275 at it. It's so hard to understand why they don't make that change. But I guess it's easier said than done.
Yeah. And it's on those things are all on the improvement project list, just a matter of when they get approved and how we move forward with that. But hopefully that helps. Chris says, thank you. Yep. You're welcome, my man. Hopefully that does help. Okay. Adam's got some deeper questions here. You guys are rolling with it tonight. I love that. Let me just check Instagram, make sure we're not missing anybody over there. Shout out to the people watching on Insta. I try to get to these questions over here too. Looks like we're in good shape. You can always join us on YouTube or Facebook or the other platforms. They're helpful also. Okay. Adam says, thoughts on Graceland Estates, Heritage Estates, and Maronda Homes in I can't even say that word. I always try.
Bonasasa.
It's not hard to say.
That's because you think about it too much. And
it totally is that thing. It just like, it confronts me. I'm like, huh, it's like the boogeyman, right? Like Bonasasa. It's not hard. Bonasasa. It's not hard to say. But when I see it, my brain just like clicks off. I just can't get it out. Love that. Okay. Adam, it's much more rural over there. If you dig that, it'll have a nice feel. If you want something,
yeah,
go ahead,
those are really nice neighborhoods, and the lots are really nice. I've looked at those before with some clients, and the floor plans are nice. It's just out. There's not a lot there.
Yep, you're out of ways. You're farther away from the beach. You have to go through the thick of congestion just to make everything happen there. Like most people that live there stay there. Is the best way I can explain. Like they're not traveling over the bridge. They're not coming down. Like they're just hanging out over there, and it's awesome. There's trails back there, and like it's really nice area, really really nice area. So definitely worth checking out. Adam also says similar thoughts on Bexley and Whispering Pines, and then compare Bexley, Whispering Pines, and Thonosassa to Wesley Chapel. I think all the answers will confirm I am locked into Wesley Chapel. Love Bexley. It's a little bit more expensive and a little bit more rural. It's going to be about a 25-minute, 30-minute drive to Costco. If that's important to you. Nice community, though. The hub's really cool. It's worth investigating. Again, this is going to be a real feel thing, Adam, because the neighborhoods you're talking about, they're all great. You know, they're all going to, when you're in the neighborhood itself, they're all going to feel similar. It's as soon as you step outside of those neighborhood walls, what do you have access to? What do you need access to? What do you prefer? That's really what it's going to boil down to, because we're spoiled rotten, y'all, with the quality of our neighbor. Like our master plan communities are all so good. They are so good. So great question. Awesome. Let me just check over Instagram one more time. We did have one question from Nikki. She says, thoughts on Waterset. Visited from New Jersey last week and love the Apollo Beach area. Also, any input on the high schools in the area? Thanks. Marcia, you want to chime in?
I'm not familiar with the schools in Apollo Beach, so I would have to refer you to niche.com. Apollo Beach and Waterset is very nice. Apollo Beach is very nice in that if you're a boater, you're right there on the water. The comments that I have gotten from clients is that there's not a lot around that area. So if you like to go out to eat or like shopping close by, you won't have that right, in close vicinity. So you'd be doing some driving. Also, we were talking about traffic earlier. That area seems to get backed up on I-75. So you do have that to deal with.
Yep.
So those would be all my points about Apollo Beach.
Love that. Great share, Marcia. Just real quick, we'll jump over to niche.com so we can check out Apollo Beach real quick. Marcia nailed it on the head. Overall grade, it gets an A. Public schools says is A-. So those things are wonderful. In terms of where it is, it's the location that usually holds people back. And that's what Marcia was referring to at the end. If you look at how Tampa Bay is structured, a majority of all the things happening are here, right? They're here up in Wesley Chapel or on the beaches. And in order for you to get to them, you are quite possibly in the most difficult location to drive. Let me share it on the map. So if we look over here really quick, sorry, y'all, I thought I had it dialed in. But if you look at where Apollo Beach is located, which is right here, in order to get up to Tampa, you got to go up and around. And if you want to go to St. Pete or St. Pete Beach, you're going up and around. It's just always 45 minutes to an hour, no matter where you're going. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you're going to go to the beach, it's probably going to take you even longer, maybe over an hour and 10. But worth exploring if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, Juan. I was going to say, a lot of the communities are a half hour, 45 minutes to Tampa or St. Pete, but they have a lot around them, a lot of shopping, a lot of restaurants and stuff. Apollo Beach does not. So that's what I would say the difference is. But you also are on the water. So it depends on what your focus is.
Yep. That's a great perspective. Thank you for sharing that, Marcia. Love that. Okay. And let's get to, we're going to answer our final question here. So Zachary is going to be the final question of the evening. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Guys, if you want to connect with us, my phone number is on the screen. There are in the description, you'll even find a link to my calendar, so you can schedule time if you want to chat, talk about it. Me and the ladies will join you on a Zoom call, pull up the map, talk about all things that most likely fit your ideal lifestyle. But I want to answer Zach's question here. Is inventory picking up? Seems like a lot of beachside towns have a lot of inventory. A lot is relative. Let me just kind of break that down. Historically speaking, Zach, we're not back to 2019, which I would consider like the most recent normal real estate market. So we're not quite there yet. We're trending in the right direction to get back to those numbers. And here in Tampa Bay, we're still faring fairly well. If you look at like Sarasota as an example, they're up to 9 months of inventory. That's a buyer's market. So that's great news for buyers, but we're not here yet. And thank you for asking that. I do have some statistics pulled up for March. This is the last thing we'll kind of tackle real quick, y'all. So we'll get in the weeds here a little bit. And we'll kind of to rock it out. But this is from March. These numbers just came out, and I want to remind everybody why we're looking at March numbers, why we're in May. Okay. So the way that real estate statistics work is they wait until the month ends, and then they make sure everything goes to the county and gets recorded, which in some areas takes longer than others. That's why it takes longer to aggregate this information. We usually don't get numbers from the previous month until the third week of each month. Okay, so next week, in a week and a half, we'll finally get April's numbers. Right, just so you guys have perspective. But this will give you a sense of what's happening here, and I'll just run through this really quick with everybody. Let me see if I can make this bigger, and I'm going to kill your question there, Zach. So nice question. Hopefully you guys can see this really well. How's that look, ladies? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Be bigger. We can go.
Yeah.
Let's do 200. Get it up there. Okay. This is single family homes in the greater Tampa. This is Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. So the greater Tampa Bay area for the most part. This is closed sales. The first line is here. So let me get that out of the way. That's not going to work. I got to go one step shorter. Forgive me. Okay. We had 3,480 sales in March of 2024. That is down 12.9%. You can see the difference there. Paid in cash. We are down 11% on that number. 896 sales still sold. That's so many that sold in cash. But here's the thing that everybody keeps waiting for that isn't changing. Median sales price went from $395 to $410. So it went up another 15 grand while everybody's trying to outweigh interest rates. And for the market crash that is still yet to come over the last 3.5 years, it's up 3.8%. The average sales price, which is the important one, median is one thing. Remember, that's the middle of the activity that's taking place. The average sales price went from $484,000 to $528,000, up 9.2%. Sales volume is down, or dollar volume is down overall almost 5%. And then here's where things you really want to pay attention. Time to contract. Okay. Time to contract, we actually went down a day, meaning once the home was listed, how long did it take to go under contract? 30 days. That's 1 month. 1 month. So in order to be a balanced market, you need to be at 6 months. Okay, so we're not there yet, Zach. Now we're trending in that direction. We've got builders. They're going to keep building. They're not going to overbuild here. They made mistakes before. They won't be doing that again on purpose, at least. So keep that in mind, but only 30 days to contract. Will we see 38 days in April? We might. The only time will tell, but it's going the wrong direction in terms of for buyers. Now, new pending sales, that has fallen. This is another thing to look at, meaning out of those homes that went under contract in 30 days, there were 3,891 of them. New listings, 4,726. That is up 15%. Year over year. And then pending inventory, meaning the amount of homes that are under contract from the active listings, that's down 7%. So that's slotting a little bit also. So something to keep in mind there. Here's the numbers we really want to be focusing on, the specific question he was asking. Active inventory up 43.8%. And I know that sounds like a lot, and it is from a percentage perspective. Keep that in mind. However, that number really needs to be around 12,000 homes active to be at a normal range, meaning what we saw from like 2018 and 2019. Okay, so just giving you guys perspective. Keep your eye on that. Our month supply, it's saying there's 2.9 months of supply. So what that means is if we didn't list in another home over the next 2.9 months, we would run out of houses to sell. That's what that means, right? But again, you look at Sarasota, they're almost 10 months. So it's something to keep an eye on. It's trending that direction. 6 months is a neutral market, just so everybody knows, okay? And just looking at trends really quick with you guys, and then we'll kill the tech talk here. Looking at trends here, March, the closed sales. So closed sales were down 12%. February, we were only down 0.8%. You can see it's been trending in that direction. So we're slowing down in the sales. That is something to take note of. And here you can see closed sales for all the way back from 2020. We're still below even COVID numbers. So that's the thing. Like, don't get worried about these percentage numbers because you're comparing that to stuff that was already artificially suppressed. Remember, we sold hardly any homes in 2020 because of COVID, and we're still not touching those numbers yet. Right? So you guys keep that in perspective. It's when you start to beat those 2018 and 2019 numbers in terms of inventory, that's when you want to be concerned. Okay. So cash sales, Marcia, we were talking about this. We were up big over the winter in cash sales, but that's kind of normal for us. Remember, a lot of our cash buyers fly in and spend the winter in Florida. Right. So that's why we expect to see an uptick in cash purchases in January and February. That's fairly normal for us. And you can see, right, going back to the chart here. And then lastly, we'll do median sales price. So again, we're always looking at what's happening with this number from March of 23. You know, our peak last year was in August at 419. It did start to come back down, and now it's starting to go back up, and that's normal with seasonality. You should expect to see that. Okay. But be mindful. Inventory is ticking up. I do think there's going to be more opportunities for buyers here, and I do think that sellers are going to have to start adjusting their price. They're already taking. And I want to be mindful of this because I want to show this specifically. You're going to read sales numbers that tell you that Florida's slashing prices. Okay. They're reducing the asking price. What is not going down is the home value. Okay. Don't confuse the two. They're different. What that means is the seller's asking aspirational prices, right? Their wish numbers, that is coming back to reality of no. Here's where the market is. You're going to have meaningful dialogue with buyers, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, at least in Tampa right now. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful with you guys. Let's get to dollar volume. What I wanted to do. Medium time of contract, we talked about that. Pending sales. I want to get to active inventory. Here we go. This is what I wanted to show. We're trending up, but again, that's what I wanted to show was this chart specifically. So I hope this helps, Zachary, right? Looking back to COVID, right? Because remember, how low was our inventory? Remember, no one wanted to sell their home during COVID. They were terrified to sell their home during COVID, right? And that was a rock bottom in terms of inventories, and then it got even lower. And if you look at this here, you can see we're just getting back to COVID numbers, right? So that's healthy. This is when the market was 3%. Don't even look at that ever again. Put that as an anomaly. If you ever see that again in your life, then come back and look at this chart, and it'll give you some insights as what's probably going to happen. Okay. But that's not what anybody ever wants to really see. And then closed by price. This is something that I love to share that most people don't get to see. This kind of helps you understand where the money's being spent. And I love charts like this because if you look at here, y'all, we only had 3 closed sales in the entire month of March of less than $100,000. So if you're thinking you can move to Tampa for $100,000, that's not real life, right? From 100 to 149, and y'all, this is single family homes. I guarantee you most of these were flips that they were bought off market. There were 17 sales. From 150 to 199, only 64. And that's down 35%. This is the thing to look at. Look at this, man. 200 to 249, 188 sales, down 30%. 250 to 299, 312, down 18%. But here's what I want you guys to look at this. Okay. 600 to 99,000, 491 sales. Look at luxury. And we talked about this, 2 weeks ago, Marcia?
Yeah.
Luxury in Tampa we're like one of I think we were the leader in February of luxury properties sold in the United States, meaning 1.2 million or more. We sold more than anybody else, which is crazy to say that out loud. Again, I have to go back and find that statistic, but we were leading in terms of percentage for sure. And people are doing this, and I'm bringing this up, y'all, because everybody asks, like, ain't nobody got the money to do that. We hear that all the time, right? Ain't nobody got no money to do that. Clearly that's not the case, because people with money are making it happen. They're buying houses over $1 million regularly. So that's crazy when we think about that. And hopefully that helps give you guys some insights here. I'm a data nerd. I love looking at stuff like this. I know not everybody loves it. Keep your eye on inventory. Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen. I'll give you what I believe is going to happen. I believe we're going to continue to see inventory increase. Sellers who have been holding out, praying that interest rates were going to come down to 5 or 4.5%, they're finally succumbing to the idea that that's not going to be real. And if they want to move, they've got to list their house. Okay. Home buyers are succumbing to the fact that they're not going to see 3.5 or 4% interest rates anytime soon. And if they need to move, they're doing it. So that is good on both accounts. But I do think we're going to continue to see softening on pricing, meaning that you're not going to see $15,000 year over year increase over the next couple months. That's what my gut is telling me. Okay. Again, I'm not here to try to be right. I'm not here to try. Well, I would love to be correct on my forecasting, but I don't have a crystal ball, y'all. I'm just sharing based upon the numbers and the data that I see. We are trending up in inventory. Sellers are reducing their asking prices. Values are still holding, which is good for appraisals and those types of things, right? But what that really means is ultimately is if you're deciding to purchase, you're going to have more options. You're going to be able to have more meaningful dialogue in terms of negotiation. That is a good spot to live. Okay. And I think that we will see interest rates start to come down sometime next year. We may see a single decrease this year, but it's going to be 25 basis points. It's not going to move the needle on mortgages, worth a squat. So we're in this 6.5 to 7.5% interest rate mortgage world for the next foreseeable 6 to 12 months potentially. All right, so that's my insight. That's my perspective. I hope that helps you guys. With what's happening there. For those of you who ask questions late, forgive me, y'all. We try to go till 8. It's now 8:30. We're still digging in here. We want to thank you. If you guys have questions, please feel free to reach out and connect with us. Our information is on the screen. Marcia, any final words for the amazing audience we had here tonight?
Thank you for the great questions. They're getting deeper and deeper every week, I think.
Really are.
They're awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Stacey?
Thanks. It was fun. I love seeing the same names coming up, repeating, because I feel like we're just hanging out on Tuesday night. Maybe we should bring some wine next time or something.
I love that. That's good. That will work. Brian says, in Florida, homestead tax credit is still $50K. Second question, how long does it take to kick in? It is $25,000 per individual, $50 for married couple. And you can file for your homestead exemption the year you purchase your home. So the following tax bill, it'll go on there. Hopefully that helps real quick. And then great info and analysis. Loved it or not. Dude, I can get way deeper. They know, right? They're all laughing because they know Juan's holding back
like,
right now.
No.
Exactly. And then Dennis says, y'all rock. You rock too, my brother.
Hey, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
Have a good night, y'all. Thanks for the helpful. You're welcome, Alec. We appreciate you. Y'all, we love you guys. We appreciate you. Feel free to connect and reach out. Again, if you want to go deep, we can go deep. Got a few text messages while we're on the call. Don't hesitate to reach out. We don't charge for those consultations. Forgive me. I've been asked a bunch of times, Juan, what do you charge for the Zoom call? We don't charge. All right. That is a consultation to help you guys get on the right path to see if this is something that makes sense for you. Not everybody chooses to move to Tampa, even after they come here, and that is okay, right? Our role here is not to sell you guys on things. We're here to be a guide. We love what we do. The ladies are great at what they do. They make me look way better than I am, so you can thank them, because I appreciate it, and I know they do as well. And y'all, until next week, you guys go out and live that Tampa life. We'll see you next time.
Good
Have a
night.
great night.
Bye.
Peace, y'all. Have a good